And our video content for today is about kinds of energies. In Feng Shui or Feng Shui, we have different kinds of energies. They are being named, and each one of the names, we will tackle it one by one. Firstly, there is what we call the Fu Wei. Fu Wei in English, it is called solid energy. So in relation to your Mingqua or your life origin, your Fu Wei is the number which says it is your life origin. For example, a man born in 1972 has life origin 1, and that is north. And for that matter, the Fu Wei position of that person is north, and it is solid, meaning it is the strongest point of his own energy that he is to have. Yeah. Okay. Now, the Fu Wei actually is not only a solid energy, but it is the basis of all other energies. It is like telling that not only that sense of solid energy, it means that it is that energy which you are supposed to really have, and if we are to relate that energy to a person, that person has reached his or her adulthood. So he's already an adult. So it is a solid energy. And each of us has solid energies. And each of us has that solid energy falling on a certain direction and orientation. Just to repeat, for example, your Mingqua is 1. Ergo, that Mingqua 1 is north, and that is your solid energy. That is your Fu Wei, the 1. Another example of a Fu Wei energy is in construction. There are several foundations in a building, and that would mean that solid or Fu Wei energy. Basically, if that is relates to a person's energy, the Fu Wei would tell that that person is very healthy and has enough energies to cope up with his tasks or activities, or what he is going to do for the day, or what he's going to do for the next month or for the whole year. So basically, that Fu Wei energy is very, very important for us to know, especially the direction and the orientation. Next, another good energy is we call it Shang-Chi. The energy is ascending, and the energy gives you prosperity, affluence, and abundance. It is called Shang because it is really ascending. And when we speak of Shang-Chi, it is that energy that really would make you rich, affluent, and prosperous. or even abundant. For that sense, when we speak of the solid energy north, one, your mean for one, your Shang-Chi position should be in the southeast. Okay? So, another example, a male rat born in 1972, has life origin 1, and his Shui position is north, and it should be, or he should be, working with the water industry. And what energy or what business or what industry that would make that man 1972 born is related to the wood industry, and the position is southeast. So no problem about that. So the one, the Fu-Wei, and the southeast is the Shang-Chi, the prosperous sector, the prosperous industry that you should be going to or should be heading with. Huh? Now, let's go to another kind of energy. We call it Nian Nian. Nian Nian relates to the health energy. So if you are healthy, your Nian Nian energy should be above, or should be ideally in a range of 10. It should be 1 to 10 or 10, and that is Nian Nian. Health energy does not only relate to health physically, but in all aspects of life of a human person. This also would give you your mental health, your ethereal health, your astral health, and all aspects of life in human activities and in human makeup. Yeah, this is the Yin Yin. And if a person is very sickly or sick, we put that person in his or her Yin Yin direction. Anyway, the directions for the Yin Yin, if you we will tackle it in some other videos, but the Yin Yin actually will tell how healthy you are or how far your life as a human person physically you can go. Next is that Yen Yi. Yen Yi is the longevity or the long life. By calculating one's Yen Yi, we will know that that person will exist for quite a time or will be short-lived. Because if your Yen Yi energy is very low, then there is a question of your health, and there's a question about how your genes or the makeup of your ancestors or the makeup of your lifestyle is also included there. So we have that Fu-Wei, Shang-Chi, Nian Nian, and Tian Yi. These are good energies, and there are bad energies. One is Chui Ming. Chui Ming relates to the death energy, specifically the cemetery, the morgue, the columbarium, or anything to do with death is best to be placed in a Chui Ming energy. But if your business or your house or your residence or your where you stay in a condominium and Chui Ming energy is very high, you will become very sickly, and all your projects in life will be flopped. You won't be successful. So with a Chueming energy, we have to be sure whether that energy is really Chueming, and then resolve. How do you resolve it? Resolve this kind of energy? Well, we have several ways doing and battling with the Chueming energy. In Tagalog, we say it malas energy, but the malas is not very consistent with the terminology. Chueming would say that you plant a seed there and it won't leave. It won't leave. Or you have a business there and it will not prosper or will not thrive in that area because of the Chueming energy. But if it is a Chueming energy in a cemetery, that cemetery will be popular and many dead person will be buried there. Alright? So that is the Chueming. Then the next is the Wohai. Wohai is a kind of energy that destroys everything. You plan, and then after planning, you put everything in a shelf and then forget all about it. That's destructive, or the energy is being destroyed. The energy is put in good position but now being wrinkled, trampled, or shall we say put in a garbage can because the Wohai energy really is being destroyed, or that energy is destroyed. The good energy is being destroyed. And if the Wohai energy is present and it is very high in rains, whatever you do there, whatever you do, for example, your house, your residence, your building or your condominium unit, if that Wohai is very high, then whatever you do, the same thing with the Chueming, whatever you do, it won't prosper, it won't thrive, and you will encounter or incur debts or mga utang. You will also encounter bankruptcy, backstabbing. Another kind of bad energy is the Liu Shar. Liu Shar actually can be resolved. Well, there are structures that vehemently or because of architectural designs or interior designs, some of the people who are involved in this, like the interior designer or the architect or the civil engineer, who are not how do you say that, who are not adept or doesn't know at all about Feng Shui, then Liu Shar will happen. Liu Shar, for example, the building is irregularly built. What I mean by irregularly built is like this. The building is not shaped as square or rectangularized. It may be rhombused or trapezoidal or irregular. For example, if the building has its gate or the entrance or the facade as widened, narrowing inside, that building is very, very unlucky, and it produces Liu Shar. There are so many Liu Shar's position that I can think of. Actually, I will share about this in some of my videos, in my future videos. But that Liu Shar is resolvable. There are so many cures about it. For example, one Liu Shar. the losing ends. There is the structure, and then some of the corners are not there. So it will be resolved to a problem depending upon which end is losing. For example, if the southeast is losing, bankruptcy is inevitable in that place. Okay. So if I will reiterate the position of the Liushar. There are several instances that Liushar cannot be avoided. For example, if your building or your building itself has these cell sites, or you are very near an electrical depot, or a gasoline station, or a hospital, or you're very near not a hospital only, but a church wherein most of the dead is being placed there, or in a place in a church there is a columbarium there. Okay, so it is already a Liushar. We call it 6 poison arrows. Wherever you go, northward, southward, eastward, westward, you have that arrow pointing against you, and it is kind of backstabbing, right? One of the problems of Liushar is that we tend to maximize or to have a space saver. So we say we want to save space without knowing that would endanger or be detrimental to the position of the energies of the building or the house, because Liushar is available, or there is Liushar. With this kind of energy, there's so many instances that Liushar was the great problem. You know why? For example, concurrently, all over, not only here in Metro Manila, we build skyways, footbridges. What else? We build that, right? Well, it is good for our progress, but the energy sometimes are being we call that castricized, or aggravated. I mean, the energies are greatly affected, and that energies would be how do you say, dead or not performing anymore. For example, what happened to the original light rail transit, or the LRT, along Rizal Avenue? It killed all the energies going from Monumento, Caloocan, downward Baclaran in Pasay City. It killed everything there. Though LRT is, it was used, or it was supposed to lighten up traffic in Metro Manila, or along that Rizal Avenue and then Taft Avenue. But there and then, all the business establishments along Rizal Avenue and Taft Avenue were greatly affected with that energy, because that light rail transit, LRT, and even the skyway or the footbridges that we establish or we build, create Liushar to a certain extent. And with that, the Liushar actually should be resolved by the establishment in which that footbridge, that highway, skyway, or that LRT passes on to o dinaanan siya. Dapat that establishment must confront the Liushar. So I mean, the explanation about Liushar is very, very deep, and we have to tackle it in one video. We're just passing on to here, right? Our next bad energy is the Ukwe, the five ghosts. All right, the five ghosts would mean that there are unseen energies, or specifically unseen entities thriving in that area, and it became a Ukwe. Ukwe, sometimes you call it in Tagalog maligno, but not really, because some of the maligno that we thought about is not really maligno. We thought about the encantados, but in reference to the encantados, some of them help in our existences and help in our daily life, living, or what we actually do every day. So the Wukwe is, for example, how do you resolve a place if there is a portal? How do you resolve that? It cannot be resolved by Feng Shui. It cannot. Only a person who know exorcism, or who are clairvoyants and who can battle against we call it Adharmic creatures, or against Dharma creatures, then we can confront the Wukwe. But nevertheless, it's not really that easy. Though our good Lord God created many things here on earth that we can use, not only the Feng Shui charms, though I have nothing against them, but it is not really resolving the issue of the Wukwe. It's not. It may be there, but not performing its usage to be there. The Wukwe is also a very heavy topic, or a very heavy item to deal with. I will be tackling in my next video about this, the Liushar, the Chueming, the Wohai, intensively. So we will learn how to confront them and how to battle them without spending so much money, because we are all spending so much money with charms, etc., etc., but they are not performing what should be there. Okay, but well, I have nothing against them. What I'm saying here is, we go to the issue and we confront the issue. And how do we confront that kind of issue? Like this issue, the Wukwe. If there is a portal in that area, or in your building, or in your house, what you are about to do? You call the albularyo and do the ritual? No. And then when there is a problem, the Filipino is mag-iinsenso, no? No! It's bad. The encantados, or even the malignos, will even get angry with you and will make your life even worse. How do you like that? Oh, how do you like that? It's not. Well, Wukwe and the dharma or creatures against the will of God, they have also their own, we call that kingdom. And if your building falls on their kingdom, then it will be a victim not only of bankruptcy, of politicking, or let me say peace and harmony is absent, and even affluence and abundance will be absent there. As a matter of fact, I had been investigating on this for 3 to 4 decades now. What are these energies, and what are we or what can we do about it? Not only putting the food dog or the chili in there, though it is useful. The chili, the food dog, and the like is useful, but not really 100% confronting the issue of the 4 negative bad energies: the Treming, the Wohai, the Liushar, and the Wukwei. And we could be a victim of we call them quote-unquote false prophets, meaning they're just there to grab your money. Yes, sad to say, there are many. I'm not included. I'm giving these tips for free. Oh, I'm giving this for free. You just watch YouTube on my channel, Tony Suvega. Oh, di ba? And then you learn about it. Oh, hindi pala ganon. Oh, di ba? Well, directions and orientations are also very important in achieving a balanced feng shui of the house or of the building or of your makeup, you as a person. Okay. Now we're done with the 8 energies, the good and the bad, but there are other energies that were not included here in feng shui. For example, there are energies that we call it prone to theft. There are places that are prone to theft, and this is a kind of energy, an energy which acts of thievery is very rampant, and thieves are there to get your whatever, your possession, your money, ransack your building or your house. So we should think about it. Okay. There are places here in Metro Manila wherein there are we call it electrical fences. Why? So you have to just to move around, and you will see these electrical fences will tell you that there are so many acts of thievery there, o maraming nakawan, di ba? Maraming nakawan nagaganap sa lugar na yon. Why is it so? It is because of that energy. It is not named in feng shui, but I have not coined a word for it, but I call that energy as prone to theft energy. And there is another one, prone to fire energy. There is that energy wherein the fire energy is very high and would cause anything combustible to fire, boom. So that's a big problem on your part, yeah. And there is another one, we call it curse. Curse could be a generation curse or a usual curse a man does. In our age and time, in modern times, we still have witchcraft. There are so many warlocks. Young at that. Very young men or women doing kulam-kulam, etc., etc. Yes, there is. And some of them are being hired by the naughty businessmen or the like. As a matter of fact, Feng Shui has two sides. There is the white Feng Shui and the black Feng Shui. And the black Feng Shui is doing against the good Feng Shui. So, I mean, the good God and the deities who are helping to make better life for humanities or for human persons are being battled or confronted and would be otherwise. That's why it is a reality. There is the black Feng Shui and the white Feng Shui. So that additional kind of energy, we call it the prone to theft energy, prone to fire energy, and curse energy, which are not being tackled in Feng Shui, should be added on to resolve other issues. For example, why is there a place that whatever you put there, it will thrive, but there are other things that you put there, it's dead. It's dead. It won't exist anymore. And by the way, why do we have extinct animals? Is it part of our evolution? No. It is because these three kinds of energies are present. The curse, the prone to theft, and the prone to fire. Or maybe I would discover some kind of energies later on in my life, if I'm still alive in 2030s or 2040s. But the main issue here is there is a problem, and the problem is being considered or being known, not now unknown. It is now known. It is a reality. But the next question is, how do we resolve this kind, how do we resolve to confront or to correct these bad energies? Well, other people have discovered how. Other people have discovered how but did not tell. They just keep it secret to themselves. They did not share. And the angels whom we are coexisting is now telling us, they are now telling us that it is now high time to divulge this kind of energies or to divulge this kind of information, because so many had been slighted, so many had been hurt, so many had been victimized, right? So I'm not politicizing here. I'm just telling a fact, and I'm just telling what should be done. Okay? So I don't mean to how do you say, magpasabog. Ayoko nun. Sa tagal ko sa industriyang ito, na halos ngayon ay this is now my 4th decade of doing this, I won't be involved in that. I'm not into sensationalism. I'm not into anything against any other else. They do what they do, laissez-faire, sabi nga sa Frances. But we have to see and know how to confront this issue about Ming, the Hohai, the Liushar, and the Wukui. Several books in Chinese had been written about this, but I mean, the confrontation, the cures, and the remedies had been very, very secretively kept. It's not exposed to the public because even then, I mean, other people are afraid that this might be used against them. That's the idea. And if we roam around Metro Manila, there are places that we notice or observe about that. Why is this place like a market? It's very, very good. I mean, the business there is very flourishing. Why is that in some other places when they put up a market, it is a flop? Why? So there is a reason for that. Why for an instance or for a period of time this building is very, very popular? Now it was toppled down and it became this. There's so many buildings like that here in Metro Manila. Just to name a few, for example, the Manila Opera House. It was the site for not only a cinema but for a performing artist. But it is not Manila Opera House now. It's a casino. How about the Folk Arts Theater? It's not Folk Arts Theater anymore. It's there, a history, but it's not anymore. It's not performing what it was built for. Metropolitan Museum. Oh, there's so many here in Metro Manila. I mean, whoever will be the next president should think about this. I mean, after this pandemic position, we go back into arts, to science, and we explore more. Because the Philippines is now being left behind by our neighboring countries. Think about Vietnam or Thailand. They are now far from us. I mean, the economy has been improving or the like. Well, I'm not to tackle it here, but just passing on to it, right? Okay. So, the 8 energies that are involved in Feng Shui and 3 other energies related to we call it animism, or tayo mga Filipino, we Filipinos are product, or we are a product of a culture and tradition and religion that is based on anima. We call it animism. We believe in anito. Then when the Spaniards Catholicized us, our belief there nagbago. But it should not be. It should not be. It should be practiced because this is inherent to us and it is native to us, and we should explore more about it, though it was not gone. Other places like the Ita or the Aborigines, they still practice it. Though on some other sides, we call it black magic, and it is also present. But the white magic is also present. For example, we have a different kind of herbal medicine not being explored. Though the University of the Philippines is exploring more on this, but they are not yet that popular. There are so many plants and trees here in the Philippines, not only here in Metro Manila or even some forests that exist in the Philippines, that can cure all diseases or many illnesses, sicknesses that can be cured by simply boiling a cup of kamuning, and then ayun, gagaling ka na. Ang dami. Actually, there are several plants now being reconsidered to be studied. Not only the moringa, the malunggay, where in fact some people are not allowed to eat malunggay. Why? Because of food intolerance. Some may die of eating it. But of course, generally, malunggay is very good. But there are other plants here in the Philippines, edible, that should be explored and studied. Because it can help the common people, the common tao. Medicine is very expensive. Kahit pa siya generic, mahal. Mahal. And must confront other illnesses, like for example, we're not talking about only about COVID-19. We also are talking about yung sipon, yung ubo, yung plema, yun, no? And people are going back to nature. People would like to go back to nature. We study each other and we discover each other. We came to know what, and we came to know why. For example, why here? By the way, I'm here in Rockwell. You could imagine that if and when these kinds of energies are not being cured or are not being remedied, can you imagine that? Bankruptcy, cancer, proliferation of bad elements, diba? How do we live in a society like that? That's why we have to cure. We have to put remedy to so that our neighbor will also benefit from it. Our country will benefit from it. And most of the time, if we are to talk about what is really good and what is really bad, is that if you have that good intention, that it is good. But I mean, the usage of things must be considered. Not that kind of euthanasia or mercy killing. No. We have to use nature, and we have to be, I mean, there should be a balance in nature. There should be trees, there should be mountains, there should be plants, there should be clean air. And not only the landscaping, but also the air that we breathe in that area. So we have to help one another. Otherwise, the bad energies will thrive and go through, push through without you knowing. It become makapal na. Hindi mo na makokontrol. The bad energies have to be confronted as early as one who knows about it, and as early as he could, or if he or she has the capacity to cure, to remedy that kind of bad energies, then he should have done that for the sake of God, for the sake of men, for the sake of our elongation of human existence. Okay, well, here in Rockwell, it is a very good place. Plus, there is a well-balanced kind of energies. If I am to count the dragons up the sky, there's so many thriving here, not only in Green Hills area. Here I could see white, mostly white dragons, meaning they're already old. And anyone who lives here, not because it is very costly, but because the air is almost next to pure, or not so dirty, or not so foul, but you have that kind of air wherein you breathe it and you smell the freshness of the air, right? Though there's still the engine, the smoke coming out of the muffler of the car. Well, that's also a problem. But the trees also will help to dehydrogenize. Mawala yung hydrogen content dito. I mean, yung hindi siya makalason sa tao. Though in the year 2021, the coming year of the metal ox, yellow star number 5 is falling in the southeast. So not only Metro Manila, but countries in the southeast are badly affected. And it could also mean a violence against the wind and a violence against the earth. So earthquakes are inevitable. Poison gas are also inevitable. And maybe I'm not so sure, the air that we breathe in now will be fouled or poisoned or that sense. So it is quite dangerous, even dangerous than COVID-19. Anyway, Feng Shui is very, very deep in its sense. It is not only about the arrangement of the furniture or the things that you place inside your house or inside your building. It's not only that. It is about the dynamism of the 10 elements of their relationship to one another, the relationship of the male yang metal with the yin female metal, the relationship of the male water to the female water, the relationship of the male wood to the female wood, relationship of the male fire to the yin fire, relationship of the male earth to the female earth. It is about relationship, or it is about dynamism. How does one interacts with one another? For example, in a place here in Metro Manila, do you see a river existing aside from Pasig River? Hopefully, Pasig River should be cleared and clean, because if it is dirty, it is now giving us Liu Shar, Chueming, Wohai, and call it Wukui. There would be a proliferation of bad energies inside that area, and therefore, when we don't resolve this, we will have a problem battling against these 4 negative bad energies.
Okay.
So, what do we do about it? For example, if this is, we call that Chue Ming Wohai Liu Xia Wu Kui. I mean, in reference to Pasig River, you would know that kung nalinis na ang Pasig River, there will be a proliferation of business establishments around that area. But right now, no, it is not. It is not, and it will not. It won't happen unless our government or our countrymen take the initiative to clean Pasig River. It should be cleared and clean, so it will give us good energies. If not, all those establishments around those areas won't prosper or won't thrive, or they will have several problems in operation on the like. Many, it is now unthinkable what would happen to those people who become sick, to those business establishments who went bankrupt because of the position of the bad, dirty water. Good that the Manila Bay is already cleared, but it is not really cleared yet. No, it will be, high in maintenance. There is high in maintenance. If and when, for example, Yorme won't be available anymore, or there will be another mayor in Manila, and he is not with the same party as Moreno. I don't think that mayor will continue the advocacy. No, it is our Filipino mentality. If you are not of the same coat, you don't do. Kasi sisikat sila. O, di ba? Pero dapat ipagpatuloy niya. O, di ba? Dapat kung ano na umpisahan na halimbawa ni Noynoy, dapat tinuloy nitong si Duterte. O kung hindi naman yung inumpisahan ni Marcos Ferdinand, dapat tinuloy ni Cory. Di po ganun di ba? Kaya nagkakaproblema tayo. At tayo we are now being left behind by other countries like Vietnam, Thailand, and even Singapore. Maraming feng shui expert sa Pilipinas. Pwedeng mag-usap-usap ang mga kagaya namin para tulungan ang bayan natin na maging maayos ang takbo nito at magkaroon ng golden memories or golden age at that aspect na maging maayos ang ating bayan. There is a big role for Feng Shui to do it. It should not be only on the books. It should not only on the talking. There should be an active performance, active doing of what should be done in our country, in our place, in our neighborhood, using the cures and remedies of Feng Shui. Ideally, our country, the Philippines, is very rich in resources. But we are not the one who are exploring it. We should be the one to make us so wala na tayong mahirap na kababayan. Kaso hindi ganun Pero anyway, hindi naman ako politiko. Ako ay isang eksperto lamang na nag-a-advise kung anong dapat gawin ng isang kagaya natin dito sa bayang Pilipinas. Yan. So, kung babalikan natin yung mga different kinds of energies present in a place, in a house, in a room, in a building, in a country, that it should be sized up. Then After sizing them up, i-enhance ang mga good energies like the Fu Wei, the Shang-Chi, the Nian-Yen, and the Tian-Yi. I-deplete yung mga bad energies, the Chue-Ming, the Wo-Hai, the Liu-Shai, the Wu-Kuei, and even the prone to theft, prone to fire, and the cursed energies. Otherwise, it will stay there for quite a time, even hundreds and millions of years. If, well, I am to die some 10 or 10 years from now, I don't know. Maybe I will die tomorrow, I don't know. But I will leave this content for you to hear, to see, to contemplate, and to gather and have a conference about saving our own country, saving energies, not only the saving energies with politics, but saving energies really. And what does it take to make it real, to make it happen? That the world, the earth that we live in will be a better place to live in, peacefully, affluently, harmoniously. Otherwise, if and when energies of the Chue-Ming, Wo-Hai, Liu-Shai, and Wu-Kuei, they rise up, our earth will not be habitable anymore. Long time ago, I was only in my teens when I watched the film Soylent Green by, I forgot the name of that man. Not Cliff Richard. Oh, but I'm seeing his image in my mind. Soylent Green was about the dead person being supplied as food. It is being transformed to a capsulized or tabletized form. But that hero found out that the Soylent Green was people. Would you like that to happen to us in a future time? It is not impossible that that kind of situation will happen to us in that distant future. And as a matter of fact, like for example, everything is now being mechanized or robotized. Don't you see? Everything is being automated. Well, we should be afraid about that because what will be our use? Pindot na lang ng pindot. Oh, well. Ganun talaga ang buhay. But life must go on. And life must not be that kind of life that we want to be or to have. Life is beautiful. Life is God-given. Life is superb. It's mysterious. But people are also trampling it. Dinuniyurakan, dinadapurak. Mga yun lang pinag-uusapan pa lang yung waste disposal kung saan nilalagay yung mga basura. Tayo mga Pilipino, hagis tayo ng hagis sa mga basura sa daan. Tayo may mga street cleaner, etc. Hindi nila iniisip na, may mga street cleaner, kawawa naman. Bagay, may trabaho, no? Pero paano yun? Mimihasa tayo na nagtatapon tayo ng basura kung saan-saan. Siyempre, ang mga basura, din yun bad feng shui din yan. Ngayon, enough of this. In my next video, I will intensively explain about Liu-Shar. I will also explain about other bad energies like the Chue-Ming, the Wo-Hai, and the Wu-Kuei. And how do we resolve this kind of energies to benefit us humans, and in a house or in a building or in a structure, how do you resolve these bad energies, and how do you make it into a positive thing? Well, even the bad energies can be put in a good thing, but by making so, there should be effort, or there should be a formula about it. I will give you simple formulas next time on how to confront these bad energies and to enhance the good energies. See you.